experience, complete with that iconic orange couch and Monica's purple apartment door. You can take plenty of pictures or sit in the viewing lounge to watch classic Friends episodes. The Friends experience runs through the end of the year. The series, by the way, will also be leaving Netflix at the end of the year. It'll be available on HBO Max, which is owned by, you guessed it, AT&T.
They're pushing a little bit, aren't they?
That is going to be a big hit to Netflix. That's their most popular show.
Yeah, between that and some of the other like really good rewatchable shows. Yeah, definitely.
So, you a Friends fan?
Yeah, of course.
Head to San Francisco. For now, thanks for watching. See you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, a homicide investigation is underway in Sauk County. We are live with the latest information.
Plus, a float at an area homecoming celebration is causing some controversy. How people in Blanchardville are reacting.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3 Now. Sauk County deputies are looking into a homicide after someone found a body in an isolated area.
Madeline O'Neill is live near where this body was found in the township of Fairfield. This is southeast of Lake Delton. Madeline, what can you tell us?
Hi, Danica and Eric. Well, right now we're right off Levee Road, about 20 minutes northeast of Baraboo. It's the general area the body was found. As you can tell, it's pretty rural out here. It's heavily wooded. We're near Pine Island. It's a big hunting area, and it's also where a report came from yesterday from a caller who found a body out here. Now, an autopsy released today rules the white middle-aged man's death a homicide. And Sheriff Chip Meister says it's so early in the investigation, it's not clear how long the body was there or the official cause of death. They're asking the public to get a hold of them with any information.
We also ask that if anyone has any living out in that area has cameras, whether they be trail cameras or house cameras, that they notify the Sheriff's Department as well so we can speak to them.
Sheriff Meister says the homicide was targeted and there's no danger to the public. They're not releasing the victim's name yet. They're still trying to notify family members. In the meantime, they ask anyone with information to give the department a call at 188-TIP-SAUK. Eric and Danica.
Madeline O'Neill reporting for us from Sauk County. Thank you so much, Maddie.
One person is dead after an industrial accident happened in the hotel room parking lot in Lake Delton. Police say emergency crews were called to the hotel grounds just before 2:30 this afternoon. Officers say private contractors were doing some utility work when a person was hit by an excavator. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say it does not appear any foul play was involved. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is now investigating. A person was injured after being hit by a vehicle on Madison's north side Saturday. Madison Fire Department crews responded to a report of a person injured in that crash in the 1500 block of Wheeler Road. Firefighters say they found the patient lying on a nearby lawn. The car that hit that person had driven off. Paramedics provided emergency medical care and took the patient to the emergency room. Madison police officers were also at the scene to investigate.
Dane County deputies are looking for suspects accused of burglarizing homes. Deputies say this happened around 2:30 Saturday morning on Hayden Road in the village of Windsor. The homeowners reported a burglary after they received an alert from their home security system. Deputies say the suspects got access to that home through the garage and took cash and jewelry. Law enforcement found the two suspected vehicles involved in this and started chasing them, but called off that chase eventually. They say the vehicles were stolen from Fond du Lac County. Officials say they believe it's the same group of people that was caught on camera running through a neighborhood in Cottage Grove. Officers say the group is often targeting homes and neighborhoods with luxury vehicles. There is controversy tonight surrounding a homecoming parade float that appeared in Blanchardville this weekend.
Well, the school district was quick to call it racist. Some people believe it was just a joke. Our Amanda Quintana is here with more on what happened. Amanda?
Ahead of the football game between Pecatonica Argyle and Southwestern in a parade put on by the Blanchardville Pecatonica Alumni Association, the 2004 alumni rode in on this float. The sign says, "Trump needs a wall to deal with the Southwestern crew." While the men in ponchos were trying to cross the fence, a viewer claims the other men were pushing them down and kicking them back to their side. The photo continues to stir up controversy on social media. The woman who posted it now scared to show her face because of angry messages she's received, but some say it was all in good fun, just taken the wrong way.
I just thought it was a joke toward the president, you know. He wants to build this wall and nobody else wants to build it, you know.
A joke made at the expense of an oppressed group of people, and people do die from this kind of thing. This incites violence. Pantomiming it during a parade is one thing, but kids seeing that might think that that's appropriate behavior to then go out and replicate, and that is absolutely not okay.
While the Pecatonica School District put out a statement shortly after the game saying it, quote, strongly condemns the racist float and it does not represent the school district, its current student body, or its staff, the village president commented saying it's a non-issue and someone is trying to make an issue about nothing. Because the parade is put on by the Alumni Association, the village government doesn't get a say in what appears on those floats. I did reach out to the Alumni Association to see if they're planning to change the way that they approve floats. I'm told the committee hasn't met to discuss the issue yet, so they can't comment on what or if they're going to change anything in the future.
All right, Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you.
Switching gears now, let's get a look at that first alert weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti out on the weather patio enjoying the beautiful day, Gary.
Yeah, it certainly is refreshing. We were so humid this weekend with the showers that rolled on through, and now we have a chance to dry out for today and tomorrow before the next batch of thunderstorms arrives tomorrow night. Visible cloud track right now showing lots of sunshine across the state, and Doppler track pretty much free of precipitation anywhere around Wisconsin. The nearest rain is in Michigan and moving away from us. The showers and storms out to the west of us not even showing up on Doppler track right now. But as we take a look at current temperatures, they're very nice. Here in Madison, 72 degrees. Temperatures are in the low to mid 70s through all of southern Wisconsin. Those dew point temperatures have dropped into the upper 40s and lower 50s, drying out the air. And there's a nice west to east breeze across southern Wisconsin. But tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the middle 50s. Look for a partly sunny, breezy, and mild day tomorrow with a high of 76. But there is a chance for thunderstorms tomorrow night. That is your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. La Crosse police are looking for a suspect involved in a battery incident Sunday morning. Police say an employee of Rudy's Drive-In was punched in the face while attempting to enter the restaurant. The victim told police he had just arrived at the restaurant about 4 a.m. to clean the facility. As he was unlocking the door, there you see that brutal punch. A young man came towards him, said something, and then punched him in the face and took off. Police say the call was received reporting damage to property as well near Rudy's a few minutes before that battery call came in. Anyone with information related to the young male's identity or the incident is asked to call La Crosse police. A woman in northern Wisconsin is warning pet owners of the dangers of vaping after her puppy died from eating a vaping cartridge.
Gabriella Bucara shares how veterinarians say the chemicals found in vape devices can be deadly to pets. Gabby?
Veterinarians say pets ingesting nicotine and marijuana is nothing new, but ingesting those drugs through vape devices is new. And while doctors are starting to see more cases, not enough research has been done to help them predict the full effects the liquid chemicals can have on small animals. A dog was seen at VCA Hospital in Middleton for a marijuana vape ingestion.
It seemed like a very typical marijuana ingestion. The dog seemed pretty severely affected. The owner, fortunately admitted to the ingestion of it.
But with little research, it's harder for doctors to predict the effects dogs might experience.
The concern and the problem is that with any of these vaping liquids, the concentration is just an absolute mystery. There's very little information out there that is credible or useful.
Emergency veterinarian Tristan Doherty Leader says the liquids tend to be more concentrated, making the side effects more exaggerated.
Tremors, salivation, diarrhea, you can see high heart rates, cardiac arrhythmias. You can see seizures, and dogs can die from nicotine overdoses.
He says those effects may not be visible at first.
Even if they seem to look normal initially, they can certainly have effects pretty quickly that you may not realize.
Veterinarian Sean Hook says the chemicals and oils in the air can affect small pets, especially birds.
It does produce oils as you vape. Those get on things, even in your car or your house, and that oil, if the animal comes in contact with it, can affect them too. It doesn't have to just certainly be from the vial itself.
And regardless if vaping is banned, vets predict that they will continue to see toxic ingestion.
If they ban vaping apparatus, something else will come along and we'll continue to see nicotine, marijuana, and all of the usual things that humans, they want access to these, they will find access to these, and we'll see the effects of it.
Doctors recommend calling a local veterinarian for advice if a pet has ingested something it shouldn't have, and not to induce vomiting on your own by some of the ways listed on the internet, because those methods can often be more harmful.
All right, very interesting. Gabby, thank you so much. Community leaders are asking for more information, that is, from the U.S. Air Force before a decision is made on the F-35 jets coming to Madison.
Amy Reed joins us now from the Eastside Community Center, where they just finished a press conference about this very issue. Amy?
We had multiple speakers here in the last hour that talked about the impacts these jets could have on our city, but ultimately the people that were speaking here today said the F-35s are not welcome here. One woman came from Burlington, Vermont, where they just got F-35s despite vocal opposition. She's a retired Air Force colonel and said the draft environmental impact statement is not fully accurate. She said the jets will be louder than the F-16s, maxing out at about 118 decibels. Reminder, that draft environmental impact statement was listing up to 65 decibels. The speakers here said they are worried about how this will affect children, and so is the Madison School Board. Tonight at their meeting, they're discussing a resolution that would ask the Air Force to reconsider Madison as a preferred location for these. We'll bring you more on the discussion behind that resolution tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Amy Reed reporting live. Amy, thank you.
Madison leaders want to make sure people living in the city understand what's going on inside their government, that everyone feels like they have a say in what's going on.
The Task Force on Government Structure has been reviewing the city's current process of obtaining resident feedback. Officials say right now, most of the public's input really only comes from 4 districts in the city, namely in the Isthmus and near West Sides. The 11 members of this committee are working to get more engagement from everyone, particularly people of color and lower income residents.
We wanted to know, what are the residents in those neighborhoods thinking and wanting? And one thing that we learned is there's a very high level of interest in those neighborhoods, in what the city government is doing. But there is very little knowledge or understanding about how the city government is structured and how it works and how residents can engage.
If you'd like to get more involved, the task force is hosting a meeting tomorrow night at Warner Park. We'll have the details at channel3000.com.
The Cross Plains Fire Department is using old equipment to make a flag mural. Members of the department painted old fire hoses into a flag. According to a Facebook post, it took several weeks to create. It's now hanging in their fire station.
Badger running back Jonathan Taylor has earned the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week award. No surprise. Taylor rushed 23 times for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. In the easy win over Michigan on Saturday. Badgers up 5 spots in the AP poll now to number 8. They'll face Northwestern at Camp Randall on Saturday.
He looked very good. All right, there are 6 games left in the regular season for the Brew Crew as they look to clinch a playoff berth, and the NL Central Championship not out of the question. The Brewers are 3 games behind the Cardinals, 4 games behind the Cubs.
Ahead of the Cubs.
Sorry about that. Milwaukee plays 3 games against the Reds starting tomorrow and then finish with 3 at Colorado. They have won 17 of their 21 games this month.
If I hadn't corrected you on that, Gary would have.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
There's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, President Trump goes on defense over his call with a foreign leader, what he says he told the president of Ukraine.
And coming up tonight at 6, a bill at the state capitol could create stricter child car seat rules, while lawmakers say the state's current regulations are dangerously outdated.
Marginal movement in Monday trading on Wall Street. The Dow up 15, but the Nasdaq drops 5, and the S&P lost less than 1/3 of a point. And we'll be right back. President Trump is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly as questions about a July phone call with the president of Ukraine continue to dog him.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Mr. Trump urged the Ukrainian leader 8 times to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son, who worked for a company in Ukraine during that phone call. Now, the president denied using military aid to the country as leverage.
I did not make a statement that you have to do this or I'm not going to give you aid. I wouldn't do that.
The Senate Republican see no evil, hear no evil attitude is unacceptable and must change.
President Trump is scheduled to meet with Ukraine's president at the UN on Wednesday. The acting director of national intelligence is scheduled to testify about the whistleblower claim on Thursday.
President Trump called for an end to religious persecution around the world at the UN summit. World leaders also adopted a declaration on universal health coverage, ensuring access to sexual and reproductive health care services for women worldwide. Getting the most attention, however, is a special summit on climate action, which included an impassioned rebuke to world leaders from teenage activist Greta Thunberg.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!
President Trump made a brief unscheduled appearance at the summit. Mr. Trump announced plans in 2017 to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement by 2020. 66 countries have promised to have more ambitious climate goals. Finland and Germany pledged to ban coal within a decade.
Today is the first official day of fall, but it may not feel very autumnal with the mild temperatures out there. A new forecast from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says that all 50 states should see a warmer than average fall, reflecting the warming trend that's taken place over the past few decades. Northern Alaska and the Southwest and much of New England are most likely to be warm, that is. The hurricane season continues to be an active one, leading to higher chances of a wetter than normal fall along the East Coast. Much of the Plains and Rockies may have a wet fall as well. It has certainly been a wet month for us here in Wisconsin and in our area. Gary Cadolti in with a look at the forecast. Gary.
Yeah, we can only hope that it stays dry for longer periods of time, but unfortunately there is some rain in the forecast. First, today is the first day of fall. That's where the sun's rays are directly overhead the equator, and that happened at 2:50 this morning. And at that point, it's roughly about a 12-hour day as far as daylight and darkness across the entire planet. And as time goes on, up near the North Pole, that area will stay dark all 24 hours. By the first day of winter, that'll be as far south as the Arctic Circle. Visible cloud track around here shows that we had plenty of sunshine for today. There were some clouds up in the northeastern portion of the state, but mostly sunny skies here. If we take a look at 72-hour precipitation totals over the weekend, a general 1 to 2 inch rainfall through much of southern Wisconsin. Fortunately, we didn't get the heavier 3 and 4 inch amounts because there weren't any thunderstorms. Most of the precipitation was in the form of just a steady rain, and that continued into parts of northern Illinois as well, with lesser amounts over toward Milwaukee. But right now, the radar pretty much free of precipitation around here. A couple of sprinkles out over Lake Michigan, a couple of showers in northern Lake Michigan and into Michigan, about the closest rain. Now, tomorrow night, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms along a fast-moving cold front. Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms west and northwest of Madison and a marginal risk elsewhere. Hail and high winds will be the main threats, but by the time these storms reach us, it'll probably be close to midnight, maybe even a little bit afterwards. The later the storms get here, the less the severe weather threat will be. Rainfall, though, generally should be around a ½ inch because these storms will be fast-moving, but a couple of the thunderstorms could bring heavier amounts of an inch or so. Trying to pinpoint exactly where those storms will occur this far out, very difficult to say, but it's something that we will have to keep an eye on. The live view from the WISC Skycam showing clear skies. You can see the Capitol as we zoom in from the southwest side of town. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam showing bright sunshine glistening off the southern end of Lake Mendota. High today, 74 degrees, the low 54. Another day with above normal temperatures as we start the first day of fall, and we're at 72 now. Skies are partly sunny, the air is calm, and the humidity at 44%. As we take a look at low temperatures this morning, they were in the upper 40s across northern Minnesota, generally the 50s across the rest of the state. We'll see similar temperatures for tonight. Current temperatures are in the 70s statewide. The westerly wind keeping the lake breeze at bay. You have to get up into the UP of Michigan where a little more cloud cover is keeping temperatures in the 60s, but you can see those dew point temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. That means the air has really dried out, and that has allowed skies to clear through much of the upper Midwest. Upper level winds basically basically from west to east through southern Wisconsin, kind of variable in the northern parts of the state, but the main jet stream continues from the southwest to northeast, so we're going to see active patterns start to set up again, especially as we head toward the end of the week. But in the short term, it's the mild weather through much of the upper Midwest and warm weather out west that will continue at least through much of the upcoming week. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly clear skies, a pleasant night, low temperature at 54. For tomorrow, a partly sunny day. It'll be breezy and mild with a high of 76, but it'll be dry during the day. On future track, you can see quiet conditions for tonight, low temperatures mid-50s, high temperatures tomorrow climbing into the middle 70s. Now tomorrow night, you can see a fast-moving cold front sweeping through with some showers and thunderstorms, but by early on Wednesday morning, we're already clearing out, and then after that, a nice day on Wednesday, a little bit cooler. High temperatures will be in the upper 60s to around 70. Again, rainfall amounts around a third to a half inch, but there could be some heavier amounts in excess of an inch where the heavier thunderstorms occur. 7 to 10 day forecast calls for a little cooler weather on Thursday, but thunderstorm chances return Thursday night into Friday, and then again for the first half of next week, some off and on shower and thunderstorm chances with above normal temperatures before we turn fall-like by Thursday of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the view of the Beltline at Fish Hatchery Road. Just checking the traffic map, there was a breakdown on the Beltline at eastbound on the Beltline at Fish Hatchery Road, causing a little bit of a delay there. Right now seeing some delays eastbound from Monona Drive to around Todd Drive, and then westbound from Fish Hatchery Road back to around John Nolan Drive. Right now about a 22-minute commute on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 18 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, some pretty typical times, 27 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline, 19 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes on East Washington Avenue and US 151 to Sun Prairie. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5. Self-driving cars are closer to reality thanks to vehicles that think for themselves. We'll look at the marriage of machine and artificial intelligence next.
News
Science fiction is starting to become a reality. From cars that drive themselves to robots that learn on their own.
Spurring these innovations are new improvements in artificial intelligence. Lisa Mateo reports.
This robot can walk or roll in every direction. It also has brain power, thanks to artificial intelligence, or AI. Swiss engineers programmed certain movements, but eventually the robot taught itself to do this rollerblading motion. That ability to learn and react could lead to a host of possibilities.
At some point, you might just want to say, here's a package, please deliver it to this door. And the robot needs to figure out then, based on the stairs that it might have to climb or the grass that it might have to walk over, exactly how to achieve this goal.
In Brooklyn, New York, the company Optimus Ride is launching self-driving vehicles that can transport workers at an office park. The cars use sensors and cameras to navigate the road.
All of the technology that we're developing utilizes artificial intelligence. That's allowed us to process a lot of things about predicting how people behave, predicting how pedestrians walk, predicting how bicyclists will maneuver in a lane.
It's not just self-driving cars. AI could one day lead to autonomous flying machines and submarines. Optimus CEO Ryan Chin says advances still need to be made. Right now, autonomous vehicles work well in a controlled environment, but
our view is that self-driving is going to be very difficult in places like driving around in Times Square, for example, in a snowstorm.
how much of a reality are autonomous vehicles? Can we see that really happen?
So autonomous vehicles are coming.
Syracuse University assistant professor Ingrid Erickson says the technology in self-driving cars has a ways to go before it can make the judgment calls people do.
And you need that to be kind of built up and increasingly tested and tested and tested over and over again so that there are no error rates.
That testing is underway. And as these machines become smarter, we get closer to a day when robots take the wheel. Lisa Mateo, CBS News, New York.
Stay with us. We'll have another check your forecast in just a moment.
Moral of the story, get outside.
Yeah, nice day.
Today and tomorrow, temperature is very comfortable. Take a look at visible cloud track, just a couple of fair weather cumulus clouds popping up. Nothing showing up on Doppler track around southern Wisconsin. Those temperatures right now, low to mid 70s across the southern half of the state with dew point temperatures in the upper 40s. The wind's pretty light, so tomorrow will be a little breezy, but temperatures will be back in the mid 70s for tomorrow. Thunderstorms tomorrow night, and then more storm chances Thursday night into Friday, and for the first half of next week, unfortunately, we don't need any more rain.
Get out and enjoy this stretch of weather. Thanks for joining us at 5. We'll be back in 30 minutes. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.